welcome to another episode of Panel to Panel, brought to you by 5geeks.blog. Today we're going to review Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and The Human Torch. Written by Chip Zdarsky, artwork by Jim Cheung. I hope that is pronounced correctly. If not, I apologize. So, the first thing you'll notice is that we've got basically half of the Fantastic Four. We have The Thing and we have Human Torch. At this point, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and his wife, Sue, the Invisible Woman, and their two children are presumed to be dead. But, of course, this is comic books, and we all know things can work out even when someone is dead. Because after all, this is called the fate of the four, not just the fate of the two. So, hopefully this is the beginning of some sort of restoration of the Fantastic Four. I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of the Fantastic Four. I like the characters, I like the concept. I've been drawn in by certain runs of the comic book by certain writers and artists, but I haven't consistently followed them. But this book got me back into it, and which is great because the Fantastic Four in recent years seems like they've been sort of sidelined. I think maybe that has something to do with the whole movie rights issue with 20th Century Fox, but that's not really an issue anymore, what with the acquisition by Disney. So let's just jump into this full geek. We start with some race car driving, and we have a wreck, and it turns out that the driver of the car is none other than Johnny Storm. And talk about drawing in the reader. That's just a really cool shot. I mean, you've got Johnny emerging from the flaming wreckage completely unhurt, because after all, he is the Human Torch. And, that just really pulled me in. You've got Johnny, kind of an adrenaline junkie, taking all these risks and that kind of thing. Really good stuff. Then we have a bit of background things about the Fantastic Four, very well written by Zdarsky here. And we see that, Ben and Johnny have kind of tried to move on from the Fantastic Four, but, you've got Johnny race car driving, you've got Ben at some sort of awards ceremony in a tuxedo. Once again, really nice artwork here by Jim Cheung. And we've just got Ben hanging out here in his tuxedo. Makes a little joke about the fact that he gave up smoking. In the comics, Ben used to smoke cigars, and now that's kind of a no-no in Marvel Comics, showing characters smoking. Don't want to corrupt the children or anything like that. Although, I gotta think, what he's made out of, can cigars really hurt him, or a character like, say, Wolverine? And, if they can't actually be harmed by it, then, who cares? Anyway, let's skip a bit here. Don't want any kind of copyright strike. And so we've got Ben here. He's given the illusion that he's moved on, but he really hasn't. He's still dwelling on the past. He's still very sad and morose and depressed about the situation. You know, you can see how it's all just kind of weighing on him there. And you know, if Ben's bad, you know, we're gonna find, you know, Johnny's even worse. Skip a little bit here, and we have Doom show up. Dr. Doom. Of course, we've got him here in his infamous Iron Man armor. They're kind of doing a thing with Doom right now where he's sort of trying to turn over a new leaf, be kind of a hero, an Iron Man. Although it looks like Tony Stark is coming back, so hopefully things will go back to normal on the Iron Man front, because the less said about Iron Man right now, the better. And we have some really great dialogue, Doom dialogue, by Zdarsky here. Of course, we got, you know, Ben yelling at him, you know, Doom, you start talking before I start clobbering. And just let me say, I love the way that Ben is presented in this book. You know, he still has that blue-collar, New Yorker, you know, lovable charm to him, but, you know, he's no dummy. You know, Ben Grimm is an intelligent man. You know, he was the pilot on the mission where the Fantastic Four got their powers, and I like seeing him presented in a manner that is worthy of who he is. And then we've got the Doom dialogue. I just love this. Remove your craggy digit from the face of Doom, Grimm. You know, that's just classic Doom right there. You know, remove your craggy digit. And then, of course, he talks about himself in the third person. Very Doom-like. And so we've got a bit of a fight here between Ben and Doom. And we find that since Doom is trying to be kind of a good guy, he's actually bringing Ben a sort of gift, which turns out to be a message from his old pal, Reed. And Reed informs Ben that he's hidden a device, and with this device, Ben and Johnny can travel to different dimensions, different universes in the multiverse. Essentially, they can keep doing what the Fantastic Four was doing. They can keep exploring. And that's exactly what Reed wants them to do. And he gives Ben a clue so that only Ben will know how to find the device. He says, retrieve the trophy, take Johnny, and live the life you've always lived. A fantastic one. It's just some really beautiful dialogue between these two friends. You know, you can see the friendship there between them. And skip just a bit more, and we see Ben goes to find Johnny, and, you know, Johnny's not having it. You know, leave me alone. You know, he's depressed. He's even having trouble getting his powers to work. You know, whether that's a mental or emotional block or something along those lines. We don't really know yet, but he's having trouble with his powers, and has just a really good, touching scene between Johnny and Ben. You know, classically, these two were always kind of at odds, pulling pranks on each other, busting each other's chops, and now, you know, they're all that's left. And we see here that Ben is remembering what Sue told him. No matter what, take care of him. So, as if Ben didn't have enough on his enormous shoulders, what being a giant rock man and all, he now has the added responsibility of, you've got to look out for Johnny. You've got to take care of Johnny. You're the strong one, Ben. Johnny can't take it. Johnny can't deal with the fact that we're gone and what's going on. You have to find a way to take care of him, Ben. And so Ben talks to him, and then he lies. He tells Johnny they may still be alive. So he gives him hope. He gives Johnny hope, but it's false hope. But it's what Johnny needs. It's what he needs to bring him back into it. But no doubt this is going to have serious consequences later on, because Ben is lying to Johnny. They have no reason to believe that Reed and Sue and the kids are alive. He's giving him hope that, hey, your sister, your brother-in-law, your niece, your nephew, our family are alive. Let's go find them. Let's go exploring. Let's go find them. And so that's the thing that brings Johnny back in. But at what cost? He had to lie to him. Great little twist to this story. And I think it's going to have big repercussions later. So they go off to find Reed's device, and of course Doom is still being Doom. He wants the device for himself, and so on. So that was the first issue of Marvel 2-in-1 Thing and the Human Torch. I believe it's on issue 3 at this point. But I wanted to go back to the first issue and review it, and I would highly recommend it. If you have any interest in the Fantastic Four whatsoever, go out and find this book. Buy it and hashtag move the needle. If you've been on Twitter at all recently, seen any things going on with comic books, you may have seen that hashtag. It's kind of a movement to increase comic book sales at a time when they're not so good. And it's maybe a bit controversial because of the person who started the hashtag, but as far as I'm concerned, that's all completely irrelevant, because how could selling more comic books possibly be bad? I mean, if you're a comic book fan, you want this industry to thrive. So please, if you love the Fantastic Four, go out, support this book, and while you're at it, hey, support our channel. Like our videos, subscribe, visit our website at 5geeks.blog, and we'll see you next time. Bye.